Good evening. Welcome to Emma Hutchinson's Go Team meeting, where we will follow the agenda as it has been emailed to you and publicly noticed. I would like to remind everyone that this is a meeting of the Go Team. Only members of the team may participate in the discussion. Any members of the public present are here to quietly observe. For members of the Go Team, please identify yourself when you speak. I am pleased to call this meeting of the Emma Hutchinson Go Team to order at 5:10 p.m. Our first order of business is to call roll. The secretary will now take the roll.
And please respond present when your name is called. Melissa St. Joy,
Present.
Asia Phillips,
Present.
Mrs. Wilson, Janae Clark,
Present.
Courtney Manning, Angel Sullivan.
Present.
And I think that concludes all of our members, besides myself, and I'm here.
This team will only be able to take official action if a quorum is present. Ms. Dixon, is there a quorum present?
Yes, we do have a quorum.
Thank you. Our first order of business is to approve the agenda. This was provided to you via email. Are there any changes to the agenda? May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I motion to approve the agenda.
Thank you.
And Angel Sullivan.
A second?
I second that motion.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye so the secretary can record your vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions, please say abstain. We will review and approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting. The minutes have been provided to you. Are there any corrections? If there are no corrections, may I have a motion to approve the previous meeting's minutes?
I, Asia Phillips, motion to approve the previous meeting minutes.
Thank you. A second?
I second to approve the meeting minutes.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions, please say abstain. Our first action item is to fill any vacant parent or community seat. And Ms. Manning's parent.
Aye.
Go ahead.
I nominate Ms. J. I'm sorry, I missed the first name, but I nominate Ms. J for a parent, I'm sorry, parent community, well, the parent community vacancy, the parent vacancy, I'm sorry.
Do I hear a motion to approve this item?
I, Asia Phillips, motion to approve.
A second?
I second that motion.
It has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye so the secretary can record your vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? Please say abstain. We will now move to the discussion items on our agenda.
Okay, good afternoon. I am just pulling up my PowerPoint. Can everyone see the presentation? Okay,
Yes.
and just
Yes, we can.
Yes.
please know if I
Yes.
pause, it's because I'm moving your faces from side to side as I try to click through and make sure I read everything on our presentation. But this is Go Team meeting number 2. Where we are, our strategic plan is a guide that we work for with the school by monitoring the plan and ranking priorities. We can all work towards a common goal using the priorities from the strategic plan. The school leadership team has developed a continuous improvement plan. So Go Team has worked to do the strategic plan. The school, so myself, the instructional coaches, Ms. Long, have worked to do a continuous improvement plan for this current school year. So I'll be sharing the strategic plan and the continuous improvement plan for our school. Please note that that continuous improvement plan was also submitted to the Georgia Department of Education. But where we are in a timeline, as a Go Team is we are right here at number 4, where we're looking at the data and looking at all the plans to ensure that they match priorities. So again, we're going to look at our strategic plan first, continuous improvement plans. You guys will see over the summer, the leadership team works to analyze the needs, create SMART goals and action steps for our continuous improvement as a school. We'll also look at to make sure that the things that we have in our Go Team plan align with what's in our continuous improvement plan. And we will also look at some of the map data. We looked at it last meeting, but we're going to take another look at it again today because we're bringing all the pieces together because these are all the things that affect our budget discussions in the spring. So again, our current strategic plan, we wanted to increase the percentage of students in grades 3 through 5 by 2025. They're proficient in reading to 20%. We wanted to increase the students in math to at least 20%. We wanted to increase the number of students that are not chronically absent by 15% based on our Georgia CCRPI in 2021, and we want to strengthen the relationships with family and parents. These were the bullets and the outlines of some of the things that we're doing to increase Lexile scores overall. You'll look at our strategic priorities, improve proficiency and distinguished level on milestones. We want to work towards our STEM implementation for 2025, full implementation of district initiative. We want to reduce barriers for students who have attendance problems. We want to build capacity of teachers. And when we have vacancies, we want to make sure that we recommend highly qualified teachers. We want to support the social emotional learning of students as well. And we utilize PBIS and the BAS assessment to do that. So that is our Go Team plan. Our continuous improvement plan, we did a needs assessment based on our school data from last year. So last year, we were super excited to celebrate that there was an 8% increase in ELA proficiency and an 8% increase in math proficiency from where we were the previous year. Hutchinson also increased students attending 90% of the time. So in the year 21-22, only 54% of our students attended school 90% of the time. And last school year, we increased it to 70%. We also increased our science proficiency by 4%, which was, we were one of the few schools in the South Atlanta area that increased our science proficiency. Some of the challenges that we have is that although we have opportunities to increase reading proficiency by 3%, if we focus on our small group instruction and vocabulary usage, as well as our small group instruction in mathematics. We have to continue building teacher capacity in writing across curriculum. And although we increased our attendance, we still had a large percentage of students that were not coming to school daily. So our overarching needs is that we wanted to increase the students moving from the proficient level to at least 20%, but we also want to make sure that we decrease the students not meeting the standard in mathematics as well as reading, and just increase the students coming to school. So our large problem, although we have made gains from the previous year, is that we still have a great number of students that do not meet academic standards that we're working to close those gaps. So the SMART goals that we identified was that at the conclusion of this year, we were going to decrease at a minimum our beginning level readers from 57% to 54%, and increase at a minimum our students scoring proficient from 17 to 20%. For mathematics, we wanted to decrease from 50% to 47% students who are not meeting the standard, and we wanted to increase from 23% to 26% at a minimum at the end of the year test. We also wanted to do a minimum of at least 73% of our students coming to school consistently. If you look behind, I won't read through all those, but we have measures that we do in the school daily to monitor that we're working towards those goals, whether it is our common assessments, our universal screeners, work samples, using the district funded intervention tool, doing walkthroughs focused on small groups. As we built out the plan, both for ELA and mathematics, we said that we were going to focus on small group instruction, as opposed to saying we're going to do all these things for reading and then all these things for math. We wanted to make sure that we were speaking consistent language as we continue to build the capacity of our teachers. So providing at least monthly professional development around small group literacy, and we're doing this for math as well. Monitor the implementation of small group and provide feedback and coaching on small group literacy. We also wanted to make sure that we worked with our population. So if you look at the bottom, it says our CELT, which is our special education lead. She will also do weekly observations with special education teachers and provide professional development to ESOL teachers. Or not the CELT, but we will have professional development around ESOL, which we have had this school year. As I switch over to the math, it mirrors. And that was simply because we did not want to give teachers a bunch of different things to do, because it's really hard to manage. And we wanted to have not do all the things, but try to do the right things to move our students forward. As far as whole child intervention, we monitor attendance weekly at our school. We have a care team that meets weekly to identify kids with chronic absences and how to reach those families. We also use the BASS assessment to identify any children that need counseling, support, or any other wraparound services. If you look at the bottom for student populations, we ensure that Tier 3 behavior plans are implemented, and we ensure that family communications go out in English and Spanish, because we have a heavy Spanish speaking population. So as I went through all of those, we now have an opportunity to discuss if you feel that the priorities from the strategic plan and the information and goals from the SIT plan reflect where we're trying to get to in the strategic plan, which is increased proficiency. And I'm going to actually come out of my presentation. In case you have any feedback, I would add it to it.
Well, I'm a teacher, so I can attest to a lot of the things that we're doing here. And I do think that we have a great strategic plan. And one of the great things about our school is that we're practicing what we're preaching. So everything that you mentioned that you said we're doing it, and we're doing it with fidelity. And I think that because it's done consistently, we're going to see a lot of growth as the students continue to move through the different grade levels. I think the second graders that we're getting ready to get next year, I think they're going to come in even higher than the ones that we've gotten this year. So I think it's just a revolving door, and we're working really hard.
Any other thoughts?
Asia Phillips here, a parent. So it's good to hear that there's, school, especially in APS, because I just relocated back from Washington State, where their curriculum was a bit different. It was, STEM based, but to come into this school, and I can attest to the teachers making an effort, and especially with my daughter, it makes her more interested in school. She's more attentive, and she sees for herself that the third grade teachers, she's in Miss Manning's class, she sees that they care, they're consistent, they're patient. And there was also, I forget what the little, um, it wasn't a meeting, but it's like when we all sat in, I think it was Miss Clark's class, and we sat at these desks, and my daughter wasn't here previously, so she didn't get one of those, I forget what it's called, but from last year when you guys had those scores. But it was still good to see like something in front of me that could speak to improvement, what needed to be improved, what we could do as parents, sending us home with things. So from my perspective as a parent, it does mean a lot to me to be one, a part of these meetings, but two, can just confirm that third grade specifically, they are practicing what they preach. So it's greatly appreciated.
Yes, thank you for that. And I think you were referring to our APTT night.
Yes. Yeah, I was the one with the little boy. So if you remember us, but yeah, I was the one, and yeah, and my daughter wasn't allowed to be there, but it was just, I don't know, it was refreshing. And then I like the rock, paper, scissors, like interactive thing as well. It was something small, but just breaking the ice, and then having us interact with not only you, but other parents as well.
Thank you for sharing that and letting us know how effective it was for you and your takeaways from that APTT night.
And that was one of our initiatives to actually include parents a little bit more in our building. And we were excited about the turnout. Okay. If there are not any other thoughts, I'll keep going. Can everybody see it still? Hold on.
Yes.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, I don't think we have any changes.
Yes.
We pretty much said we were aligned. So now I will go into our map data. We talked about this last meeting, but kind of where they were in the spring versus where they performed in milestones in reading as well as mathematics. I always tell people that it closely aligns 5 or 10%. Well, right now we're actually in our map testing window. So for the next couple of slides, I have the correlation between what they did in the fall and what they're performing now in winter. I will say that not all the tests are populated, so this may change, but super excited that we've decreased the kids not meeting the standard from 55% to 47% as a school, which is a huge deal. We have also kind of opened up this space where kids are developing. And now that they're developing, we have an opportunity to push them to that proficiency space. And this dark green is kids who are performing at distinguished. Again, I just want to keep in mind that we don't have all the students' data populated. They have makeups throughout this week, so this may change. And we're hoping that, you know, an increased proficiency is seen. So the other reason I'm super excited about this, if you look at the top, is the district comparison. It looks like as a district, we stayed stagnant, but at Hutchinson, we are moving in the right direction to decrease our students who are not meeting the standard. For mathematics, we've also increased the number of students that are proficient in math, which was super exciting. But again, I think 5th grade took their math test today. So some of this information may change, but it was refreshing to see the slight growth. And I will tell you that I've also had the opportunity to look at individual class growth. So you can see where, although all of our kids are not proficient, they've made significant amount of growth from the beginning of the school year to the end in their interactions with their teachers. And that's super exciting. So with those 2 slides, is there anything that you guys notice, wonder, or additional questions you have? And I'll go back to the data slide, but notice, wonder, and questions. And I can go to either slide you would like, reading or math.
I know that it's not in here, but the growth is amazing to me. So I'm excited just to be a part, be back at Hutchinson. And just to see that, I know Ms. Dixon and I talk about it all the time, that the amount of teachers, you've never really walked through a building and everybody is really committed to the students. And I think that is really showing in the map growth, because when like I said, when I walk through the halls, that's what I hear. I just hear teaching and teaching and teaching, and it's a passion behind it. And I think that it's just going to continue to grow. But I was wondering about with the reading domains, does it break it? Is it a way that it's broken down into the domains?
It is. It just hasn't populated. It's another report. I can make a note of that to bring it to next meeting, because with some grade levels that I met with, I was looking at the domains within their grades as they were talking about how they were going to kind of intentionally build their small groups in the future to kind of close those gaps further. But yes, it does unpack as far as our APS graphs, it does unpack the domains, but I think the teachers also have the learning continuum that unpacks those domains as well.
Okay, I think I was more geared toward how the districts are with the district. Like I see that our growth is a consistent, but is it like, can we see whether we're performing low in if we are performing in low in vocabulary, it would be low in okay.
I can see that, yeah.
Okay.
I'll share it with you.
Okay.
Any other questions about math or reading? Okay. So our strategic planning will help us fully uncover our available options, continue to set our priorities, and define the methods to achieve them. You know, a lot of the intentional work that myself, Miss Long, we comb through a lot of this stuff, because a lot of times when teams do plans, there's a go team plan and then there's a school plan and they don't match. And in those spaces, I think sometimes teachers double work. And anybody that has had an interaction with me, well, we do a lot of work, but it has to be the right work. And I think that we're doing the right work. And I always say that Hutchinson is a long-term project, and we're moving super steadily, but we are moving and trending in the right direction. As also this is not captured here, but if you go to the Georgia Department of Education, we got extraordinarily high score as a school for closing gaps for our students, which was super exciting and something to celebrate, as well as increase across all content masteries. So that was exciting. So where we're going at our next meeting, we'll discuss how our data is aligning to the strategic plan, and we'll determine if we need to make any adjustments before the fall semester. We'll take action and vote on the rankings of the priorities, and you'll let me or the chair know of any additional information that we need to discuss in the future. And that concludes those action items.
We will now move on to information items. First is the principal's report.
All right. If my presentation wants to, there we go. So today I just kind of have updates about things coming up at our school. Accenture has partnered with our school and we'll be doing an hour of coding in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade on December the 6th. That's where they bring in about 40 company members and they just teach the kids how to code. December 8th is our 3rd to 5th grade investigation fair. December 9th, we have a robotics team at our school comprised of 4th and 5th graders, and they will be competing. As well as December 11th through the 15th is our Hutchinson holiday week. There's all kinds of activities and fun things for the kids to wear and to celebrate the holidays. I also am super excited. We have a lot of partners reaching out. So I think that a lot of the kids will definitely go home with some sort of token, not necessarily a toy, but a token as we close out for the holidays. December 18th through January 1st is our winter break. Everybody is going to get a well-deserved break. And on January 3rd is the first day that the students are back. 15th of January, we have Hutchinson Impact Day. One of our partners, Northwest Mutual Goodwin Wright, actually brings their whole company out to beautify our school. And they'll be working to actually build a game room that we can use as an incentive. So that's super exciting. And as Miss Asia lifted, January 25th is our second academic parent-teacher teams night. So we had about 75 parents in attendance, and we hope to have just as many, if not more. Here is a lineup for our Hutchinson week of holiday spirit. We have Ugly Sweater Day. We have Holiday Character Day, where your teams dress up, Holiday Cheer, Polar Express, where the kids can wear pajamas. And on Friday, it is a Western holiday, and we will be wearing flannels. And that concludes the principal's report.
Does anyone have any announcements? We have reached the end of our agenda. Is there any additional business at this time? May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Hi, Angela Sullivan, motion to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you. A second?
I second that motion.
All in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed, please raise your hand. Any abstentions, please raise your hand. Meeting is adjourned.
Yeah, let me stop recording.